When my parents left that morning, I didn't think much of it. They always left early. Mom kissed my forehead. Dad shouted from the hallway, "Be good, Sam!" And then the door clicked shut. Silence. Just me. And Uncle Ray. He wasn't supposed to be here long. Just a few days, Mom said. Until he gets back on his feet. At first, I thought he was cool. He brought snacks, told jokes, and even let me skip my chores. But that morning, something felt different. He didn't say good morning. He didn't smile. He just stared at me over his coffee mug, like he was studying me. Then he said quietly, "You know, Sam, there are things in this house your parents never told you about." I laughed awkwardly. "Like what?" He smiled. But not a normal smile, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. "Maybe one day I'll show you." I should have ignored it. I should have gone to school early. But curiosity, that stupid, heavy curiosity, kept me home just a few minutes longer. And that's when I heard it. A sound coming from the basement. A low metallic clank, followed by a faint voice. A whisper. Someone. Whispering my name. When Uncle Ray moved in, he brought a small brown suitcase and a list. He said it was just to keep things in order. But it didn't feel like a list. It felt like rules. He pinned it on the fridge with a knife. Yeah. Knife. I still remember the sound. Metal on metal, as it stuck. Rule 1. Don't open the basement door. Rule number 2. Don't use the phone when I'm home. Rule number 3. Never ever ask about the shed. Rule number 4. Be in your room before 9 p.m. Rule number 5. If you hear knocking after midnight, pretend you're asleep. He grinned when I read them. You follow those, and we'll be just fine, Sam. I wanted to ask why. But something in his tone told me not to. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The house felt different. The air heavier. Around 11:47 p.m., I heard it again. That sound. A faint thump from the basement. Then a dragging noise, like something heavy being pulled across concrete. My heart hammered. I told myself, it's just him, maybe moving boxes. But then came the voice again. Soft, trembling, too close. Sam, I froze. It wasn't Uncle Ray's voice. The next morning, Uncle Ray acted like nothing happened. He made pancakes. Whistled. Even winked at me when I walked into the kitchen. Did you sleep well, champ? I nodded. Lied. Because I hadn't slept at all. That voice, that whisper, it kept circling in my head like a song I couldn't forget. While he washed the dishes, I noticed something on his arm. A deep red scratch running from his wrist to his elbow. What happened? I asked. He looked down, then quickly pulled his sleeve over it. No basement? Broken shelf, he muttered. Don't worry about it, but I did worry. Because that sound, the dragging, the whisper, none of it felt like a broken shelf. That night, I left my bedroom door slightly open. I wanted to know. At exactly midnight, the floor creaked in the hallway. Footsteps, slow, careful. I held my breath. They stopped right outside my room. Then I saw it, through the tiny gap in the door. A shadow. Uncle Ray's shadow. He was standing there, holding something in his hand. Something long and dripping. He didn't move for almost a minute. Then, slowly, he turned and walked towards the basement door. The next morning, he was gone. And so was the knife from the kitchen. It was Saturday. My parents had left for work again, like every weekend. Uncle Ray sat at the table, staring at his coffee as if it was telling him secrets. I tried to act normal. Toast. Juice. Small talk. Can I go outside later? No. He didn't even look up. Then his phone buzzed. He read a message, frowned, grabbed his jacket and said, Don't leave the house. I'll be back soon. The door slammed shut for the first time in days. Silence. And temptation. I looked at the fridge. The list was still there. Rule number 1. Don't open the basement door. My heart started pounding. Because I knew, whatever he was hiding, it was down there. I walked toward it. Each step felt like stepping on glass. The door was old, paint peeling, a rusty lock hanging loose. I pressed my ear against it. Nothing. Then I tried the handle. It turned. The smell hit me first. Damp, metallic, and sweet, like something rotting beneath concrete. I took one step down, then another. The light flickered. Something moved in the dark, and then I saw it. A chair, a chain, and a small red shoe lying on the floor. I froze because I remembered that shoe. It belonged to Emma, the little girl who went missing 2 streets away. I ran back upstairs, shaking. My hands were cold, my chest tight. The image of that little red shoe wouldn't leave my head. I wanted to call my parents, but rule number 2 flashed in my mind. Don't use the phone when I'm home. I hesitated. Then I remembered Uncle Ray wasn't home. Not yet, so I grabbed the house phone. But before I could dial, I heard it. A faint click from the hallway. The front door. He was back. I dropped the phone and darted to my room, heart pounding so loud it hurt. I listened. His footsteps were heavy, slower than usual, then a creak. The sound of him opening the basement door. He stayed down there for almost an hour. When he came back up, I heard him dragging something. Wood scraping tile. Then silence again. That night, I couldn't take it anymore. When he finally went to sleep, I crept into his room. It smelled like cigarettes and metal. On his desk lay an old digital camera. Dusty, cracked, but still working. I turned it on. The screen flickered blue, then showed a folder. Video old I pressed play. The first clip was blurry. Uncle Ray sitting in the basement, talking to someone. But there was no one else in frame. Just him, whispering, then another clip. He was digging. Concrete dust on his hands. Sweat pouring down his face. And behind him, a shape. Something small, wrapped in plastic. I felt sick. My stomach turned. Then came the final clip. It was recorded from a low angle, like the camera had been dropped. The image shook. Uncle Ray turned, looking directly into the lens, directly at me. If you're watching this, Sam, it's too late. The screen went black. The next morning, Uncle Ray acted like nothing happened. He cooked breakfast again, humming, smiling, like he hadn't buried something in the dark. But I couldn't look at him. Every sound, the scrape of his fork, the creak of his chair, made my skin crawl. When my parents came home that evening, I ran to them. I wanted to scream the truth right there in the hallway. But Uncle Ray was faster. Sam's been having bad dreams again, he said, calm as ever. He saw something on TV about that missing girl. Got him all spooked. My mom frowned. Oh, honey. Is that true? No. Mom, But Uncle Ray cut me off with a look. A warning. That night I heard them talking in their room. Their voices were muffled, but I caught pieces. He's just stressed. Ray's been helping out so much. He needs stability right now. They believed him. They believed him. I tried to stay awake, to listen for more sounds. But sometime past midnight, I drifted off. When I woke up, my door was open, and the camera was gone. On my desk, a note in messy handwriting. Stop looking where you shouldn't, Sam. Curiosity kills. I didn't sleep again after that night. Every sound felt like a warning. The pipes, the wind, the floorboards. But I knew one thing. I had to get out. I waited until Monday. Mom and Dad were gone. Uncle Ray sat on the couch, eyes glued to the TV, a beer in his hand. I grabbed my school bag, stuffed in some clothes, my phone, and my wallet. I walked quietly toward the front door. Where you going, Sam? His voice froze me mid-step. He wasn't even looking at me, just smiling at the screen. School, I stammered. No school today. Teacher called. Said you're sick. My chest tightened. What? He turned his head slowly. Funny thing is, I didn't tell her that. Then he stood up. The sound of the TV faded behind him. His shadow stretched across the floor, long and thin. I ran, straight out the back door, through the yard, past the fence. He shouted my name, voice cutting through the wind. I didn't look back. I sprinted toward the road, waving frantically at a passing car. The driver slowed, confused. And that's when I felt it, a sharp sting on my neck. A prick. Then darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was back in my room, my hands tied, my mouth dry, and Uncle Ray sitting in the chair across from me. You should have listened, Sam, he said softly. You really should have listened. Uncle Ray sat across from me, the same calm face as always. He was cleaning something, a small knife. You shouldn't have looked, Sam, he whispered. Curiosity makes people disappear. I tried to speak, but my throat was dry, my voice gone. He leaned closer, smiling. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. Not if you stay quiet. Then, bang. A knock at the door. Loud, sharp, repeated. Police, open up! Ray froze. His eyes widened. Not fear. Fury. "You called them," he hissed. I shook my head. I couldn't even lift my hands. But outside, the voices grew louder. "Sir, we have a warrant." Ray stood up, pacing. Then he whispered, "They can't find what's downstairs." He grabbed his jacket and the keys, ran towards the basement. The pounding on the door turned into a crash. Officers stormed in, shouting orders. They cut the ropes from my wrists, dragged me outside. I screamed, pointing at the house. "The basement! He's down there!" But when they went in, he was gone. No footprints, no sound, just the smell. That same damp metallic air. They searched for hours, found nothing. Then one officer called out, pale-faced. In the corner of the basement, behind the old furnace, a small wooden box. Inside were photos. Dozens, children, all missing, and the last picture was me, sleeping in my bed. They found him 2 days later, 30 miles away, hiding in an abandoned cabin near the river. He didn't run when they arrived, just sat there, waiting. The police said he smiled when they cuffed him. Like it was all part of a plan. Mom couldn't stop crying. Dad didn't speak for days. And me, I just kept hearing his voice in my head. "You shouldn't have looked, Sam." At the station, they let my parents in to hear his confession. I stood behind the glass wall, heart racing. The officer pressed record. "Tell us what happened, Ray." He leaned forward, hands shaking slightly. Then he laughed, a low broken sound. "You think it was me?" No. It started long before I came here. The room went still. That basement, your house, it isn't mine. I didn't build it. I found it. And what's underneath? It wanted them gone. The kids, the noise, the life. He looked straight into the camera. It took them. I just gave it what it wanted. My mom screamed. Dad pulled her back. But I couldn't move. Because for the first time, I believed him. Not the words, the look in his eyes. He wasn't lying. He was terrified. That night, they moved him to a secure hospital. And just before the transfer, he asked to see me. The officer said I didn't have to. But I went anyway. He smiled when I entered. "You're safe now, Sam. I made sure it won't want you." I asked him what he meant. He didn't answer, just whispered, "You'll see." The next morning, he was found dead in his cell. No signs of struggle. Just one word scratched into the wall beside him. Basement. A year passed. We moved away. New town, new school, new everything. But the nightmare stayed. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the basement door. My parents never talked about it again. They sold the house, or tried to. Nobody would buy it. Not after what happened. Sometimes, late at night, I searched online. Missing persons. Old houses. Strange disappearances. And every time, the same thought crawled up my spine. What if he wasn't lying? One evening I went back. I told myself it was for closure, but deep down, I needed to know. The house was quiet, empty. The windows boarded up, dust thick on every surface. I walked through each room, careful not to breathe too loud. Then I saw it, the fridge. The paper with the rules was still there, yellowed and torn. Rule number 1, don't open the basement door. The handle was cold. I turned it slowly. The smell hit me again. Damp, metallic, heavy. The steps creaked beneath my feet. And then, silence. No whisper, no movement. Just darkness. But on the far wall, something new. Carved deep into the concrete, letters rough and uneven. "Thank you, Sam." I stumbled backward, flashlight shaking in my hand. And before I could run, the basement door slammed shut. From behind me, in the dark, a voice whispered. Soft, familiar, and wrong. "You shouldn't have come back." The light went out. The end.